In this video, we're going to discuss identifying and avoiding bugs caused by altered loop variables in the Android platform with Java. Now, a loop variable is one that controls how many times a loop occurs. The variable can be a counter, the condition, or even the variable that increments with each loop. An altered loop variable is one of the aforementioned variables, but the value of that variable is altered or changed while the loop is executing. So altered loop variables are not used very often, and when they are, it's for a very specific circumstance. Now, the reason programmers stay away from them is due to their potential for infinite loop or loops that run forever. Now, altering a loop variable can also cause unexpected results when it comes to the values of other variables as well. Now, for the majority of the time, a more efficient and safe way can be programmed to accomplish the task without altering the loop variable. So, up here on my screen here, I have a very simple example of an altered loop variable in action. So, we'll start by setting up an array with, say, 11 elements, 0 through 10, okay? Each element will contain the corresponding 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way down to 10. So this gives me my 11, just arbitrarily here. All right, so now we'll come down and we'll look at the next component. So we're going to now have a construct here for loop that prints out the value of each element to the console. Okay, so I have that highlighted right here. Now, your output basically would be I equals 0, I equals 1, I equals 2, 3, 4, and so on. Now, if I then come down and I look at doing an alteration here when I equals 5. So halfway through the loop, we're going to modify or alter the variable I to be the size of the array, causing the condition to be true. And what will happen is it's going to exit the loop. All right. So very quickly, you can see here that if I was to run this, I would have I equals 0, I equals 1, I equals 2, I equals 3, I equals 4. When I equals 5, okay, what we're going to say here is we're going to set I to be the arlist.size, which we have as the full size up here, okay? So instantly, this condition, when the for loop runs again, this will fail. And when I say fail, I mean it'll evaluate to false, not that it's a negative thing happening, just it will evaluate to false. So therefore, the for loop will then break, and it will not print I equals 6, 7, 8, 9 like this one would do. Again, this is obviously a pretty simple example here, but it really nails down the concept of altered variables in a loop like this. So from a defensive standpoint, this is not a practice you want to do. The main thing that you lose is the control of the variable when you do this. It's just, it might be best to use, say, a second variable and then put some heavy logic in around to make sure that you don't accidentally put yourself into an infinite loop. And it'll also help you avoid bugs and any type of server issues that do come up when you do have an infinite loop actually taking place. So this has been a discussion around altered loop variables and avoiding bugs and so forth with Android using Java.